Okay, let's pretend. Hello, everybody. And thanks for being online at this hour. Good morning, good evening to everyone who is attending this live call, this webinar. I have Jeffrey with me on this webinar today. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you today?
Vikas, what's up, man? Doing well. How you doing? So glad to be here.
Thanks for accepting our invite for this webinar. And obviously, we are a huge fan of the Lytbox and your channel overall. We really appreciate what you're doing in the education world and in overall in general. So, welcome to this webinar. Great having you here.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm excited. As you know, I'm a big fan of InstaWP, have been for a while. So I like everything what you guys have been doing, and I've been seeing your events coming up, and I'm excited now to be on one of your events. Really happy to be here, especially on the topic that we're going to be covering tonight.
That's very interesting, actually. So the topic for today is actually very close to your heart, as per our discussion prior to this, right? Which is building multiple revenue stream for freelancers and agency owners. And I guess it's the economy and the changing world of do-it-yourself websites and so many things which are changing in 2024, right? Why do you think this topic is so useful and can be very useful for agency owners?
First one's from personal experience. I started off, excited about web design, web development, and I wake up every day excited doing what I'm doing. But even learning how to design and build websites really well, it was the business side where I struggled with. And I'm sure a lot of us go through the same exact struggles. And it wasn't until I started adding multiple revenue streams to my business and starting to focus more on the business side did I get out of that struggle into a position where it was much more comfortable.
Awesome. Can you, on that note, can you give us a little bit of brief on what is your background and where did you start all of this?
Yeah. So, my name is Jeffrey Dalrymple, but I go by Jeffrey at Lytbox. I'm the founder of Lytbox, my agency, the Lytbox Academy. I'm also an obsessed web designer. I love everything about web design. I started my journey about 8 years ago and have never looked back. I've just been moving forward and just keep moving forward. So yeah, I'm sure a lot more of it's going to come out, during the call, so I'm looking forward to sharing a lot more of that.
100%. And those who have joined us live, just feel free to say hello. We always love to hear where you're from, what you do. Hey, Tech Quentin, that's a nice name. And we have Luyen, is that right? Castello, welcome to the pod, to the webinar. So, Jeffrey, do you think we should get started on our topic while people are saying hello to us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just turned on the comments. Now I'm seeing it all come up. That's awesome. What's going on, everyone? So good to see everyone here. Also, we're streaming live on my YouTube channel right now. So for everybody in the Lytbox community watching, so good to see all of you. I definitely want to try to answer questions. I'm pretty sure a lot of questions are going to come up, especially with a topic like this. So I have two comments here. I'll do my best, but as well, if what I started doing inside ours, if anybody has a question, start off with a hashtag question, and that makes it easier to identify. That way, when we see that hashtag question, I could go back and pick it out. And for everybody in the Lytbox community watching this on the live stream, if I don't get to your question tonight, we are going to stream again tomorrow night, and just a regular web design geek out session. I'd be happy to answer all questions that were missed tonight as well.
So many comments, as you said, Jeffrey. And we have Mark as well, who said,
Awesome.
I'm going back to full-time freelancing as of yesterday. So welcome to the freelancing world, Mark. We are here for you. On
I
that
love it.
note,
I love it.
yeah, definitely. On that note, so Jeffrey, do you want to share your screen and let's get started, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's dive in. My energy level just went up, so I'm pretty excited about it. Let me go ahead and hit the present so I can share my screen. And Vikas, man, first before we even jump in, I know we spoke a little bit before the call. I just wanted to thank you for putting this together, for inviting me on the show on your pod. Because I've been listening to them. I see them, I register to them. I'm a big fan of InstaWP. Have been for a while. I've been outspoken about it. So this is one of those ones I'm really excited to be on. Just wanted to thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for being here. I think this is going to add a lot of value to our audience, both InstaWP audience and Lytbox. So yeah, let's get started without further ado.
Cool. So, not dope. All right. What I'm gonna do is share a slide deck to go through, and anytime during the slide deck, please feel free to jump in. I won't be able to see you because I'm going to share the screen. It's going to cover the screen, and I'm just going to flow and I'm just going to go in. But yeah, feel free to jump in at any time.
All right.
And are
So
you
I'm
able
going to
to see my screen?
yeah, I've just added it to the stage, and we are able to see the presentation as well. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. Now, I get if my internet gets stuck, please let me know. Because it's late night in Thailand over not late night. It's the nighttime in Thailand, and sometimes internet could be unstable. Hopefully, this next hour will go smooth. All right, no more
So far, so good.
procrastination on my side. What's going on, everyone? Okay, cool. All right, I got my cup of tea. I gotta have my tea. Got my trusty Elementor mug. Some good mushroom tea. This is what I do every single night.
That's
All
nice.
right, let's go ahead and kick it
I'm able
off.
to try
So,
that.
yeah, do you know what I need? I have an InstaWP mug, like a water mug I got from
Oh, you did from
WordCamp.
Asia?
From WordCamp. Yeah. No, from Thailand the year before.
Right. The WordCamp Asia. Right. We did that.
Yeah,
Yep.
WordCamp Asia. Yeah. So next WordCamp, I hope you guys got some coffee mugs. I would love to rock an InstaWP coffee mug.
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. So a topic that I have a whole lot of passion about is building multiple revenue streams for us web design freelancers and agency owners. And it's because this was the ingredient that helped me get out of being a struggling freelancer in my first several years to building a web design business. Now, first off, got to give the disclaimer. This is not about getting rich quick. It's actually the quite opposite. This is all about incredible hard work and dedication. It takes focus. It takes grind. At least that's my story. I did not get here from being super smart, having a marketing and sales background and being able to go quickly. I had to grind, and that's really the way that I know how to do it. It takes a lot of focus and continued focus. Also, revenue streams, they do take time to build. Now, we're going to cover where to start, how to start, and how they build and nurture inside of this call. But just wanted to get that out there. And also, I wanted to share my path just for everybody watching to get some context, because everything that I'm sharing is coming from my experience. I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I had a lot of ups and downs. And well, let's go back to the very beginning, because I started my web design journey in my late 30s, and I had zero tech skills. And when I mean zero, I mean I did not know how to use a computer. I never had one. For those that don't know my backstory, I spent close to 10 years homeless on Skid Row, Los Angeles. Between the ages of 24 and 34, I was in a really dark place. I was homeless on the streets, and I did not know what was going on in the world outside. I did not know about Google, Facebook. I didn't even know what Wi-Fi was. So when I got out of that and my life changed and I was able to get out of that dark place, well, everything was brand new. And the first job that I got was at the Home Depot. And I moved up pretty quickly. Within a year and a half, I moved up to a manager, and I thought that's what I wanted. It was a good salary. I mean, it was more money than I ever made. Had all the benefits. Family was happy. They're proud. But I wasn't happy. And it's not like I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the opportunities I had here. I'm very grateful for being there and for the manager that I had that promoted me, the assistant managers that spent their time with me to teach me. And I'm really grateful for all that. But I realized that that kind of a life where it was just clocking in and out, working for somebody else, that just did not make me happy. And then when I finally got out of LA, traveled, went through Southeast Asia, I saw the digital nomads. And that was it. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted the freedom. It wasn't the digital nomad lifestyle, like on the beach, nothing like that. It just clicked, the freedom of being able to learn something, teach yourself, and being able to have the tool like a computer and find a way to sustain yourself. And so, that was it. I was off and running when I made that decision 8 years ago. And when I started, I was a broke freelancer for like the first year, especially. I lived off of noodles. Second year, started doing a bit better, but still I was struggling. It was such a struggle. And well, I went from that, and part of my journey was adding multiple revenue streams in order to build a thriving agency in the Lytbox Academy. It's been a journey. So the biggest part of my journey is that I have been absolutely obsessed with web design and personal growth. I love web design, everything about it. I love the industry. I love the creative freedom. I love all the things that I do inside web design. For 8 years now, I wake up excited doing the work that I do. It is such a blessing. But the other part that I'm really obsessed with is personal growth. And that is because of my past. I have no choice but to stay in the process of personal growth. And I want to bring that up because a lot of what we are looking at and where we're going with getting started adding multiple revenue streams, it takes personal growth and business growth. And what I found is that business growth ties in, they tie in together. Business and personal growth, they coincide together. You need one to have the other. That was my experience. Now, let's look at where we start. This is where I started, and I'm sure many others. I think most web
Just want to
designers.
interrupt you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
That story actually blew me away, and I think people in the comment section too. Uh, Means I did not know that about you, and I really kind of kudos to you, man. Quick question on that: how long was the initial grind when started, and then you actually like started? Okay, now I can live off of it. So how long was that?
Well, the grind was, I would say, between 3 and 4 years until I got to uh, a financially comfortable place where, I was breaking 6 figures. The first 2 years, it was, the first year has to be about learning and acquiring the skills. I mean, we first need to get those skills down, and that takes years really to acquire professional web design skills. We need them in order to provide value for our clients. But then it took another 1 to 2 years of learning the business side and really investing inside that area in order to the grind is still the grind. It hasn't stopped. I wouldn't say it's
It never
stopped yet.
stops, right, for a founder.
It hasn't stopped yet. Yeah. I would love to say, yeah, I just work 2 hours a day. Nah, that's not it. I'm still, I do better now. I do better
That's
as
good.
far
That's
as,
good.
yeah, as far as putting my health and family first, where the first 4 years, it was just all work nonstop.
Awesome. Yeah, let's continue. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, sure, sure. And a big part of it is because of this right here, the feast or famine business model. And this is where we usually start off at. And the way this works is basically we are living project to project. If no projects are coming in, then we're starving, we're hungry, we are desperate, we're looking for clients. That's why we see and hear a lot of the biggest challenges that web designers share is needing to find clients. And then the flip side of that is when we start getting projects and they start flowing in, well, now it's feast time. Now we're trying to take all that we can to make up for time lost where we didn't have any. Also to, just out of fear because we know that famine might come back again. So it's a feast or famine business model. And well, let me go back. I jumped too much. The famine part, we know it's a problem, but the feast part is a huge problem as well. And let me break that down so we have a better understanding, because I think it just takes an understanding of, knowing the business model that you're working with. Now, the famine part, like that is really clear. We're struggling to find clients. We're losing sleep from clients who are late on their payments. Like they're not returning our calls. They're like, not messaging. Like they ghost us for long periods of time. They keep coming up with scope creep, like holding the payment and us as like hostage. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of others have gone through this as well, where, like we need that payment to cover our rent. So we're losing sleep from it. Then we're also sacrificing standards, working with clients that would do this to us, indulging in scope creep, things like that. And then there's a saying back where I come from in Los Angeles: no money, no honey. That is really clear why the famine is a problem. But let's look at the feast, because when the feast happens, I used to joke around. In my first couple of years, I actually got a lot of projects. I got a lot of clients. I was attracting a lot of them. That wasn't my problem. My challenge was not getting clients. I always joked about my biggest problem being that I had too much work. And I joked about it. And I did not realize how big of a problem that really was. Because, well, we would get boost elites, get projects, the law of attraction kicks in. You get that client who's just like a referral machine for us. They're sending us new leads and we're trying to take all of them. We're already busy with projects that we're working on, but we're trying to take on more. So we're overloaded with work. We're working late at night. Health is taken a back end. Family time is being sacrificed. And then we're unable to say no because we don't know when that next project is going to come, and we're trying to get all that we can. I did not realize how big of a problem this really is. The problem comes from relying on projects, and that is unpredictable. When we are only getting income off of projects, we have an unpredictable income. Now, for any business out there, if you take on a client and you learn about their business and they tell you that they have an unpredictable income, we could recognize that that is a problem in them. But we got to see that problem in ourselves if this is how we are running our web business. This also creates desperation, and people sense desperation. They sense it. If you get a good client on the phone, you get a good lead, a good client. This is a client that has their business together. They have a really good budget. They know what they want. They want somebody professional on top of it. Well, they're going to sense your desperation and not want to work with you. And then on the flip side, if you get a client with a low budget, red flags all over the place, they're going to sense that desperation and take advantage of you. So then there's also being stuck in fulfillment. And this is the hugest problem right here, because when we're stuck just working on websites for clients because we're in feast mode, we're not working on our business. And, I used to joke that, hey, my problem is I got too much work. I essentially turned myself into an employee again that was working for clients. And I left a good job to do my own thing, not to be an employee. So then we also got the other thing, which is a competitive industry. You have people out there willing to do the same work you're going to do for way less pay. Like a client could throw a rock and hit somebody that'll charge them a lot less. So, this is for me as well. And this is where the whole self-development and personal development comes in, because I came in with the broken, poor mindset because that's all I knew. That is my experience, and that's how my mindset was. So when I was taking on a project, well, I would always give a lower cost. Even though I wanted to charge this amount, I would still lower the cost, just trying to lock in that deal. This is this is just like a cycle that goes over and over. But there is a solution. All
By
right.
the
We
way,
identify.
before we show the solution, Jeffrey, we have about 80 people online watching us. So I
Dang,
think
what is going on, everyone? So good to see everybody here. That's awesome.
it just means I think the topic really rhymes with them. So yeah, keep going.
I know I'm not alone in this. I know, and I felt like I was alone. My first several years, I felt like I was alone in this. I think a lot of us feel the same way. We're trying to figure this out alone. It wasn't until I stopped being alone that I start to learn about this and to start to apply things that we're talking about right now, which, the solution. For me, the solution was building and starting to add additional revenue streams. And that changed everything for me. That was the biggest change. Now, imagine this. Imagine if all of your overhead and your living expenses, they're covered, even if you don't take a project for 1, 2, 3 months. Imagine how much that would change your life. How much stress would you lose, and how good would you feel about your business knowing that I don't need a new project right now. I'm okay because this other revenue stream is covering everything I need to live. Imagine being able to say no to a client who isn't the right fit. Just saying no. Right before this call, I was listening to a podcast, and it was a business podcast, different industry, but I'm always listening to stuff like that. And I thought it was really ironic that, his main topic that he started talking about was, whenever he hears himself saying no, the more no's that he says means he's starting to make better decisions. And he calculates his decision making based on the number of no's. Because, the feast or famine mode, we're just saying yes. We're saying yes to so much that we should not be saying yes to. Now, also imagine being able to raise your prices and starting to take positive risk instead of lowering prices to try to lock in that deal because we're worried about losing that. Instead, increasing the prices, not like throwing them way up the roof. Don't do that, but steadily starting to increase prices bit by bit, and being okay with, like, okay, I'm going to see if they're okay with this and see what they say without worrying about losing the project. That's taking a positive risk. And then imagine having the freedom to work and live as you wish. No more worries, no more stress, none of that that's keeping you up at night, because you have a predictable revenue stream and you're able to scale that. And this is why I got into web design. This is why I started teaching web design as well, is because the freedom, like freedom is like an onion, and there's so many different layers to it that we could gain. And, before getting into web design and getting out of, my situation that I was in, I started to uncover layers of freedom, and I got a lot of them. But then when I got into web design, I found a whole other level, multiple levels of freedom that came out of it. And it continues. It's still ongoing. So let's look at the solution, which is having multiple revenue streams and not relying on only unpredictable project work. Now, which revenue streams to build? I like to focus on 3 of them. And I look at these as a big 3. And when I started down this path, my goal was to have at least one revenue stream inside each of these. The first one is the one that we're already doing, and that is project-based revenue streams. That is for your custom work, your websites, your web design development. So that's already good. We already got that part down. But let's look at the other 2 that we could be working on. The first one is your monthly recurring revenue, or your MRR. Super, super important. And then the third one is going to be a productized revenue stream. And this one is really interesting. I started with MRRs with building a recurring revenue stream, but then productization, because there are going to be a couple ways that we could do that. Let's quickly look at project based, aka client work. All right, let me get some of my tea. I got to catch my breath. I love this, man. Vikas, I
This is
love talking
awesome.
about this stuff.
This is now 85 people. And by the way, there is a question which says that do we have an aftermath chat pool to join after this event for community reasons, just for people sharing their experiences? I think you can join, Jeffrey's. You have a community, right, Jeffrey, where
Yes,
people
yes.
can
So we
join
have
in.
the yep. We have the Lytbox community on Circle. Uh, if you go to, I'll share a link in a moment, but you could also check out any of my YouTube videos, including the live stream, and there are links to everything inside there. But yeah, we have weekly calls like this inside our community, and just the overall support. And that is a part of not being alone anymore, because it was actually that was the big transition, not being alone, by joining another really focused community for creatives.
Right. And we also have a community on Discord. Just for quick chat, if you guys want to join, I have just shared the link. And Jeffrey, you can also find in the Lightbox. Please go ahead, continue on that, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So let me see here. Project based. Now, this is our given right here. And this is going to be our main revenue stream. It's going to be the main one for a while. We don't want to jeopardize this in any way. The goal is to build on top of this. So we still want to nurture this. We still want to increase this. This is still going to be the biggest chunk. Now, right now, if you look at like a pie chart, it would be like 100% project based. When we start adding additional revenue streams, we're just going to start to take slivers of that pie chart and just starting to increase those. So by adding them, my suggestion is to not jeopardize, to still nurture this, because this is still going to be the main flow of income coming in through your projects. Now, one thing you can do for project based is to start to consider adding additional services. I am a firm believer of mastering one thing at a time. That is a philosophy that got me to where I'm at right now. I had a good mentor in the very beginning who stopped me from bouncing around, trying to learn everything. And I developed a mentality of mastering one thing, getting really good at it, but then move to the next and then move to the next. And when we are building websites, we have all these opportunities to continue moving forward. Our clients need more than just a website. They need SEO, they need digital marketing, they need content creation. So there's a lot of different avenues that we could start to add to our web business. So if we're making, let's say, X amount on our regular web projects, well, let's get that dialed in. And once we're dialed in, let's keep pushing ourselves. Let's pick the next one. Not to say let's pick like 5 things, pick one. Pick just one thing. It could be SEO, it could be digital marketing, content creation. You choose it. And again, just put in the time, energy, get really good, get to the point where you could offer that as a service. And now you're going to see your project base quickly expand as far as what you are making in it. And then the other revenue streams that we're going to build and what we're going to look at, these streams are going to be really helpful to afford delegation. Now, a lot of the times when we're freelancing, we can't afford to hire somebody to outsource something. Well, that is where the other revenue streams come in, where we could use them as a tool to start to delegate.
On the topic of mastering one topic and then moving to the next one and adding more add-ons or add-on services to your portfolio, what is your take on using AI to deliver some of these services?
Oh, we are so fortunate to be in this age right now. It's opportunity. We have tools to improve our workflow, to guide us. We have tools to help us run our business. You could use AI as your virtual assistant right now. You could use AI to help you out with your SEO, with your content creation. There's a lot that we could do with AI. So I think that everybody needs to start utilizing this. And then also we got to look at it as a skill. I mean, using Google is a skill. I've seen that a lot in some Facebook posts. Somebody is brand new and ask a question that to us who have been doing it for a little while sounds super easy. And then you get somebody says, hey, just Google it. Well, just Googling it is a skill and it takes time to learn it. So using AI tools as well, these are also tools to use.
If I
And
had a
that we
dollar every time means I heard that means I have exactly the same thought, right? These are tools which you need to master over time, right? Learn
exactly.
from learn and then just like repeat and then improve yourself, right? By using these tools. Googling is an art. I think
It is.
ChatGPT or any AI tools is an art which you develop over time. So yeah, great comment there. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so here is the big one. And this is where I recommend anybody to start with. I feel this is the most important to start and to build because it does take time. And that is to build your monthly recurring revenue. A goal to have would be to build your recurring revenue stream to cover all of your living and business expenses. That's where the stress comes in. Being able to pay your bills, being able to, not just buy food, like, not just to live off of noodles, but also, to eat healthy and to take care of yourself and to give time to yourself. And then, also the business expenses. Usually our business expenses aren't that big if we're just freelancing. But if you could do that, even if you could get close, even if you could get your MRR close to your living expenses, that is going to change everything right there because you're going to have more freedom. Now, when you are building an MRR business, the most what it requires is building the processes and systems. The goal is to automate everything as much as you can, to automate it where you are not hands-on, because if you are working on client work, you got the project work, that which is the bulk of the income coming in. You want your time spent over there as well as in your business in other areas. So by setting up an MRR, you take the time to actually build the systems, the processes, and automate them as much as possible. For an example, I got to a point with our WordPress maintenance plans where I was only spending about 30 minutes to an hour a week on WordPress maintenance plans. That was it because I was able to automate them so much. This is covering, dozens of websites. The websites that we build were, once I got to around like the 3, 4, 5 year mark for my agency, a lot of the websites were, they were of decent budgets. They were of we focus on quality more than quantity. So if I could go
What is a
back,
decent
yeah,
budget, Jeffrey, if for people to just like a range of what they should expect? Maybe a lot of people joining this are new to this agency business, right?
yeah. So 5 to 20K for a website. MLA that we had, the minimum level of engagement, was 5,000. That was just for a small brochure website, and then we just keep pushing that up. Now, the
And
first couple of years, it was like my first website was for like $240, custom coded. I didn't even know WordPress yet. I was just coding it. And then it would go up to 500,000. And then like I got stuck around the $3,000 mark, but then broke through that to about the 5 to 10 and just kept going up.
and in the maintenance plans, which you spoke about, which you probably automated a lot, what does that value range from?
So minimum starting 100. And I have a course, building and selling WordPress maintenance plans. And in that course, I took everything from 5 years of going through maintenance plans, going through the automations, and learning what worked, learning what didn't, learning what were the mistakes. Like a really big mistake in WordPress maintenance plans is offering free updates. Not free
Mhm.
updates to plugins, but free updates to content and to images and
Oh,
small
okay.
changes on the website.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know I worded it wrong.
So
Uh,
content edits
yeah.
is a part of the maintenance plans, and some people you said offer that
Mm-mm.
for free, and which is not a good
Yeah.
idea.
No. If a client's on the maintenance plan, the maintenance is making sure the website is maintained and that they have support. That support is probably it's the biggest value point. I think it's a thing that we undervalue way too much. If we really look at how much value our support is and us being there for the client in case if they need anything, like that right there is worth the $100 a month. On top of, making sure it's secure, it's fast, it is the plugins are being updated. But when it comes time to, hey, we need to add some content, we need to put in a new section, we need to do these little tiny changes. Well, this is work. This is development work. This is extra. And then this also comes into how could we turn this into an additional revenue stream? Because I don't want to bill my clients for $20 because something took me 10 minutes. I think it was like Blair Enns inside his book said, he gave somebody an invoice for like $100 and they turned around and said, if you ever give us an invoice for $100, we'll fire you, because it just wastes everybody's time. So I never did it. I just did all this work for free. And then I found ways, and I put my thinking hat on, my business hat on, and I'm like, well, how could I make sure that we're getting paid, that I'm getting paid for doing this, and that, our clients are still going to be able to get supported. And that's where I came up with retainer packages, which were pre-sold chunks of time for development time. They were pre-sold. There's like a 10-hour, 20-hour, 50-hour package. And, the 50-hour went up to like $2,500, right around there. And these are
they
for
can
small
use these
tasks.
hours in, like, let's say in next 3 months or 6 months, some kind of validity should be there for the hours, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is for like smaller tasks. So when you do got smaller tasks, and I set up the system so that way I had a junior developer who was able to take them, even take the email directly to the junior developer. And then we had our task system all set up and we're able to add it in there. And I was completely hands off. I built this so I was hands off. And, this is the thinking behind building multiple revenue streams. And once we start thinking about it and looking for those opportunities, it's not looking for opportunities to get more money from clients. It's looking for opportunities to deliver more value, be more useful for clients, and to make sure that we cover our side so that we're not working for free. We're not getting burnt out and stressed out and ruining our client relationships. Things like that.
It's basically offering the whole spectrum is what it is, right? Where the client
Yeah.
will obviously find someone else to do something, and you can think, can I offer that too? Or maybe along those lines. We also have a question from Lisa in this matter. She says that, any thoughts on building landing pages as an offer, and what is a reasonable price for building a landing page?
Uh, well, I think there's a lot of different factors when it comes to pricing. It comes to your client type. It comes to the businesses that you're working with and your skill level. For me, I think a good starting point, and this might be kind of high for others, but I don't think it's high. I think like $1,000 for a landing page. If the landing page is strategic, it's thought out. I'm talking about you're putting a wireframe together. This is being used for like a sales funnel. If it's designed. Now, if it's just something you're quickly throwing, it's not even about time. I would say minimum, I would not go, I don't care where you're at. If you are decent at building websites and got decent skills, you shouldn't charge under 500 for a landing page. Definitely, I would say 300. Don't do that, but it's hard to price it because we're so different. And I'm an advocate for trying to push other web designers to offer more value and to price correctly for it. I think just one more thing to add to that, because it's really a tough question on what to charge. I like to flip it around because I went through years of trying to fix my mindset with money, because I was really good at being poor. I thought poor. I was good at being broke. I live well broke. I thrive when I'm broke. It's really weird, but that is just because of my past. And so what helped me to start to reverse that was I focused on value. I didn't look at how much money can I get. I look at how much value can I give. So I want to backtrack my answer to that question. And instead, I would phrase them more of, instead of trying to put a price on it, try to focus on and understand how much value can you give to that client and then price that value.
We have a follow-up question. Maybe we can take one more on this topic and move on to the next slide, which is like multiple people ask the same question: is on which country or niche or market did you focus in the initial days or like later on? What was your niche?
Yeah. See, I'm located in Thailand. All right. So my niche was people around me. All right. And in Thailand, where rent is like a few $100s a month, a couple $100s a month, and dinner is like $1. Uh, I thought that I could never charge $10,000 a website, $15,000, $20,000 a website here in Thailand. And it's a journey. My first sites were on the lower scale, but they kept moving up because I focused on that value. I
But
think when we,
what?
oh, go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
So sorry, I was just saying. What was the niche which you like? So country is Thailand, right? Means, but did
Yeah.
you targeted clients across the world? Of course, right? I'm assuming. And did you like target brochure sites first? Did you go after lawyers, dentists? What was your strategy initially?
I didn't go after a niche. I tried a niche once, but that was later in the agency. It didn't work well for me. I'm a generalist, and I like being a generalist. So
Mhm.
just brochure websites and e-commerce. I do a lot of e-commerce, a lot of WooCommerce, and also Shopify. I actually started off as a Shopify developer. I learned Shopify before WordPress.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Somebody said that the right price is always a bit less than most willing to pay, right? So, as you said, pricing is a subjective topic. It's not so like you should charge $1,000, period, right? It has a lot of
Yeah.
components to it. All right. I think we have covered that topic a lot. It's time to move on to the next one. We have over 100 watchers, by the way, to the pod.
Nice, nice. That would be a great topic for another time too. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to leave it alone because that would be good for another time. Cool, cool. So let's move on with the MRR. This is a good place to begin delegating. So let's say you build up a WordPress maintenance business. You build up the system. You build up the relationships with the clients. You get the clients on your maintenance plan, paying anywhere between $50 to $200 a month, depending on what your price range is, like what you're charging clients. And once you get that going and you got the automation set up, like you could easily get a VA to come in and cover this for you where you are barely touching it at all. You set it up inside your management system. Like I'm using WP Umbrella right now, but you got your other systems as well. You are there to make sure everything runs. You make sure the engine runs. But when you start to get that recurring revenue and like, okay, I'm going to get this amount every single month, I could afford now this much and I could start to delegate some of these tasks because when we're freelancing, we're doing everything. We're doing the sales, we're doing the project marketing, we're the project management, we're doing the actual fulfillment, we're doing the calls, we're doing everything on top of trying to do our own websites and stuff like that. And so, when we are stuck doing things like data entry, adding in products to WooCommerce, things that you could teach somebody who isn't even a developer. You could teach them, or you could get a junior developer, a VA, and you could save yourself so much time. So this is a really great place to begin delegating. Delegating is a big part of the automation. Like I said just previously, when it came to the retainer packages for our clients that ask for small things like small updates, Vikas, it hit me one day when I got an email. I was in the middle of something big. I was trying to work on a really big project, like close a really big deal for a really good client. And I got an email from a client asking for a background image on a banner to be moved a couple centimeters to the right. All right. I got that email and it just clicked. I'm like, why am I getting these little requests right now? Why is this coming to me? And that is when I built the system that I did not have to get any more of those emails like it. And I could make sure the client could get taken care of, because I don't know, when you're busy and you get those little emails, it could be annoying, but then we don't want to feel that way for the client. And if we do feel that way, I feel like it's on us. It's on me. It's on me. So,
I I had a
yeah.
similar kind of encounter with one of our customers. So he said that he has a template which he sells to hotels, and he has like 15 more templates, but they need to be converted, and he's doing it hand by hand, every single one of them, one by one, every month, one template. And I suggested, why don't you hire somebody to get it done, right? Means, and you save yourself a lot of time, because I think what you said or what you meant is, when you are doing something, you are spending valuable time, right? And you should be out there creating value for your clients. And if you can automate or delegate, so these are the ways to scale it. And he did it. He hired somebody. I referred someone from this part of the world, and he was so happy with the output. He got 15 hotel templates, and now he's rocking an MRR business by selling to hotels. So this can be done, right? These are just small things.
Absolutely wonderful. And we just got to let the control go, and
Exactly. That's what he said. I cannot let it go. I said, it's time. It's time.
yeah.
It's time to let it go.
It is amazing how it works, Yeah, we need people like you in our corners, that are going to tell us like, hey, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. you know.
Exactly.
Oh
All
man.
right.
Yeah, so the MRR, they do take time, they take nurture. I like to think of them like a farmer, when you are you're building your garden. When you build it, you got to plant your seeds, you got to make sure the soil is fertile, you got to feed it, you got to make sure it grows, you got to protect it from the insects. As it starts to grow, you got to pay a lot of attention to it, so that way you can make sure they survive. But once you got your garden and it starts to give you fruit and vegetables, well, you have it already set, you put in all the work, and now it's about just maintaining that. And that is where, once you got it to the point of it being maintained, that's where we step back and we run the machine, and we delegate where we can, and we automate as much as possible, and we don't stop. Keep automating, keep adjusting.
And one quick thing means, we are in the business of MRR, right? Means InstaWP is a SaaS business inherently. And what we have seen is, I also own a plugin and theme business, which was my primary business. And when you start to sell these $19, these $29, these $59 packages, these $100 packages, right? They might seem small at the beginning, but as you said, a farmer, right? You just harvest the crop again and again and again and again, right? And then at the end of, let's say, 2 years or 3 years, you will see that the MRR has become so big that you can stop your client work now. I mean, the project which you're doing, right? You can shift to any other thing which you might have already set up the business in. A lot of people come to me and ask, how can I become a product company from an agency? This is just an example, right? And it's not going to happen overnight. You have to spend time to build that crop, and then harvest it when the time comes.
Absolutely, absolutely. You start to see that pie chart. You start to see that MRR grow and grow and grow. Then you start to see the potential of it, and and when the time is right to okay, this is going to give me more than this, then that's the time to put in that energy. And just like when the harvest keeps coming in, we got to get more land. You want to keep expanding it.
Right.
I love analogies, man. The farmer and the hunter, my two. But that's another call. But that's one of my favorites. But the opportunity. So we already talked about WordPress maintenance plans a bit, and this is pretty much one of the I don't want to say easiest, but this is one of the biggest opportunities that most of us have. I resisted doing WordPress maintenance plans for my first 2 years. And I kicked myself for that because once I started it, and then I started to like build up like, okay, 2 clients, 3 clients, 5 clients, 10 clients. And all of a sudden now my rent is covered. I'm like, that was probably the biggest mistake that I made in my career as a web designer. And I was just like, no, I just want to do custom work. I don't want to do that. But really, the WordPress maintenance plans is where we have a lot of opportunity. The thing is, if we're building WordPress sites for clients, they need hosting. Chances are they really don't know how hosting works. They need support, and they need to make sure everything's maintained. But especially the support. I mean, how many of us are not charging for support, but build sites for clients? Clients keep coming to us for questions, and we're giving time. And it's okay. I love helping people. It's not even about charging them. But when you realize how difficult it is for a client to find somebody that is a good fit for them, that they trust, then you realize how much value that really brings. And it wasn't until I started hiring developers did I realize what clients went through and how risky it is. And you hear the stories from clients as well. So, again, I know it's a shameless plug, but really the building and selling WordPress maintenance plans, it all came from that whole time period of several years of building the systems and processes, finding what works and what didn't. And it's something that could be streamlined rather quickly. And I think anybody could get started with this pretty quickly, like within a few months period of time, maybe even faster.
We should do
Uh,
a webinar sometime on like details on how to launch a maintenance plan, what all automation processes, tools you use to do that, and maybe like simple report templates and so on and so forth. So we can talk about that. Just a side note, means we are also working on our manage program. So we have a Connect plugin which
ooh.
you can install on websites, and then you will be able to manage it. Similar to what you said, there are obviously more players out there, and we want to be one of the options, which is really good.
So like managed WP, you guys are building something along that line?
Exactly. So manage WP, but integrated into the overall InstaWP platform, right? So you connect your
Wow, man, you
site
guys.
and then simply manage it, bulk manage, and all of that. So yeah,
You see, perfect example of building additional revenue streams, man. This is what you're doing. This is awesome. And like you're
yeah.
building an
Find that
ecosystem as
opportunity.
well.
Right. So find an opportunity, add value, right? So that's what you
Man.
do.
And the reason why I went in with InstaWP, I got the big package, like the top one. I got it last year, and it was because of number 3 right here on my list. WAS, the websites on monthly plans or website as a service. But basically, these are websites that you get clients, they can't afford $4, $5, $10,000. They're just starting businesses and they don't need anything fancy. Well, you could build 10 different templates, and you could build it in a way where they just need a little bit of tweaks, a little bit of branding, a little bit of images, content changed on it, and that you're basically renting that out on a monthly basis for like $200, $300, $400 a month. People are crushing it with the WAS. And the reason why I went with InstaWP is because I checked out your WAS feature, and it is dope. Like, you guys have it dialed in, and it's something that I got and that I want to play with. I want to learn, and I want to plan to add this to a revenue stream in 2025. So we get these opportunities. And, I had web hosting number 2. I didn't mention it, but that also falls in line with WordPress maintenance plans. But maybe you're more of a sysadmin. You could set up your own little web hosting business. You don't have to buy it. You're just hosting the websites. You could set up the servers like on the cloud panel. So that's an option. Another thing is like, and these are just ideas. And in fact, everybody watching, you think of ideas for MRR, drop them inside the comments, because I think we could come up with a list like 5 times this right here, the more we think about it, because there's all kinds of opportunities. The next one, email hosting and management. So I was offering an email, a business email, my WordPress maintenance plans. I'm not doing that anymore. But I was. And then I had a client. They were like, well, we need additional emails. I'm like, okay, well, I could charge $5 per email. I'm paying $1 for it, for setting it up. And, anything happens, I'm the one that has to jump in, or my team has to jump in and fix it, to take on the responsibility. We're going to charge $5. And then that was cool. Like, that started bringing in a few $100s a month. That was another little stream right there. But then, something wasn't working right. Like, the client would want to remove one or add one. The only way these work is if they're automated, and payments have to be automated. I don't want to create an invoice for $5 a month, and I don't want to have to keep changing and sending links for people to start subscriptions. So that's when I revised my business plan on this and created email packages. Like, here's a package for 1 to 10 emails. Here's one for 10 to 20. Here's one, and so on at this price. And this is just ideas to throw out there. Another one is SEO services. And I feel like this is an area that a lot of us in WordPress could absolutely be crushing it. Now, it does take time to learn SEO, but you don't have to be an absolute SEO ninja in order to start providing services. Some businesses out there, they do need SEO ninjas. They need somebody who, they have a whole lot of money they are investing in to, directly compete against some really strong competitors. We're not talking about those. We're talking about all the other clients out there who can't afford 10,000, don't need to spend that much, 10K a month, but maybe 1 to 2 to 3,000, or even 500 to 3,000 a month for SEO. That's the reason why I created the ultimate SEO for WordPress plans. I went down this rabbit hole for a long time because I wanted to start doing this for our clients. I saw that we were losing money big time. We were getting clients, and we were giving all this love and passion and just like dedication to their website, only for them to go to a digital marketing agency that absolutely didn't care, ruin everything, take their money, and leave. Not to say that all of them are doing it, but I had too many clients that this happened to. Like, when I take on a client, I care about my client. We build a strong relationship. And so when I see a client that I care about, lose big like that, it just got me thinking, why aren't we doing this and taking care of our clients and protecting them?
Quick question on
So,
this. Means
yeah.
somebody also asked it. Means let's say you don't have the capability, the motivation, or whatever to do SEO or any of these services, right? Especially
Yeah.
SEO, PPC kind of things. What is your take on hiring a white label agency and then outsourcing the work to them and then charging a markup?
That is okay, but we first need to do the effort in our own due diligence to learn and at least know enough to be able to vet and hold that white label agency accountable. The last thing we want to do is, and this is again from experience from partnering with a marketing company that did not come through for a client. And it wasn't until I learned SEO that I went in and I realized that, they were outsourcing as well to somebody who did really bad work. So I think it's good, but first learn it. And I mean, the motivation part, that part needs to change. We need to find a way to motivate ourselves. And I feel like we're all capable. If we're able to build a website, we're capable to learn this area. And when it comes to the topic of SEO, when, I have a belief that all web designers building websites, we need to know at least the basics of SEO. We need to know that way, and WordPress developers, especially WordPress developers. That way, we're not building sites for clients that are harming SEO, because there are a lot of mistakes we could do that could hurt a client's business if we don't know that.
I think that's one of the most valuable point you have made in this presentation, Jeff. Means if you don't know something, it's okay to say no, right? And the most important thing in the entire equation is the client's business, right? If they get hurt, I don't think it's good on conscience, and it's not a good business practice at the end. So yeah, good answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we start off new, there's no way we could know everything. Even with 2 or 3 years, we can't know everything about accessibility, SEO, CSS, best practice. It's an ongoing process. It's just important to be honest with our client as well. That way our client could, take the steps they need to take. They could hire somebody for SEO. A couple other things as well we could do for an MRR, reputation management. I think this is something that, and this is just I heard this idea from someone else. It was from Peyton Clark, who's got an amazing channel for web designers. I love his content. And, like he had a video about reputation management. I didn't realize that, hey, this is something like, this is another revenue stream that could be added, which is basically helping clients to get reviews, to build their reviews, and to make sure that their reputation stands up. Like, they keep getting good reviews or being replied to, things like that. Because clients are busy. They're not going out chasing reviews. But imagine if you're helping your client and all you got to do is set up some automated email templates that you could use across the board with everyone. You set up the automations, you set up the email sequences, the triggers, and you do it once, and that could be repeatable. And you could do something like this for, again, $50, $100 a month, just to give an idea. That's all I'm doing right now. It's just giving ideas. And then affiliate marketing. You mentioned AI earlier. Like we could do this as a hobby. Start to get really good with like chat GPTs, create a blog and start to apply some SEO and start to get traffic and do some affiliate marketing. So the list goes on and it goes on and it goes on. But yeah, definitely drop it inside the comments, everybody. So that way we can see your ideas. Because I bet you there are, people here getting other revenue streams in other ways on a monthly recurring basis. All right, so productize. There's a couple goals when it comes to productization. And the first one is really interesting. I started to look at this a bit differently about 4 years into my agency. The first one is transforming custom projects into repeatable tasks that can be systemized and automated. When we're building a website, for me, it was always every project was completely custom, started from scratch, and it was the same things I was doing over and over. But a lot of that could have been repeated. A lot of that could have been streamlined. It wasn't until I started looking at how could I productize this work that I'm doing so I don't have to keep repeating the same task. So we could do this many different ways. Everybody using Gutenberg right now, like the patterns are really great for this. You build your pattern library. We could build our own templates. We could create our, like, everybody first off should be looking at, whenever they're doing the same task over and over, are you writing the same email over and over? Are you doing the same wireframes over and over? And just keep looking at those. And when you do spot that, do it one more time and keep a place where you can start keeping all your templates. Then,
And just a side note, means you can save templates on InstaWP as well. So you can create multiple starter projects or your stack, save it as a template. And the good thing about that is you can sync your templates from a site whenever you want to, and that can help you start really quickly. And these templates are kind of breeding ground of building a VAS, which you talked about, which you touched about briefly earlier, is when you save a template and then you can offer that template as a solution to your customer, right? People buy those templates and then we deploy it as a live site. Uh, Obviously, we have done a lot of webinars on that too, so you can check out in our channel. Just as a side note on productizing things, I think templatizing is so, as you said, automating is one of the thing, delegating is one of the thing, templatizing is one of the biggest thing which you can, and that also helps new hires too. If you hire a junior developer, as you said, they don't need to do the guesswork. They can start from the point where you saved from, and it's easier for training them too.
absolutely. And I mentioned earlier I came to InstaWP for the WAS, but it turned out the templates was the biggest it has turned into my favorite. The templates. Oh man. Yeah, I'm about to bring up the templates because the templates are a product, and this goes to number 2 right here, creating products that sell in your sleep. Some of us have a strong design skill where our designs are our stronger asset. And if we're creating designs that are super dope, well, if we create it for a client, why not reskin it? Create something that's a little bit more light, change the branding, change the content, maybe make a little tweaks, and then use that as a template. Like on InstaWP, you could sell it. You could put it in there. You could sell the template. And for me, like, I plan on experimenting with that really soon because look at like selling something for like 5, 10, 20 bucks. It isn't that big. Like $5 isn't that big, but how many times are we throwing away work that we could be reusing? And it's the same thing when we look at other marketplaces as well, like UI8, stuff like that. We could be putting our products there depending on, what we have our strength in. But yeah, these are the 2 different areas of productization. Let's look at some opportunities. Selling web packages. Now, pre-built web packages. This is more about productizing your actual web service. You could even include branding guidelines. You can include other things, but a lot of this could be templatized. We got our WAS. Now, I threw WAS in both because WAS is a powerful MRR, but then also it is a productized business because you build it. You spend your time building it, and then you start to run the business, and then your time should be in marketing and sales. Creating templates. I think creating templates, like that's the way it is set up inside InstaWP makes it so easy to do. Like already, I created one template, and it was just I wasn't even really planning to do anything with it. I created a video on Elementor blueprints. I made a blueprint. I shared the blueprint on InstaWP, and already it's had like a couple hundred downloads and signups to my newsletter. And that was just a really simple blueprint, and it's really easy to use.
I did not
Few
know
more.
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like if you look at my videos now, I'm doing a lot more Figma, a lot more design. I do want to explore with some templates because I love designing. I love building, and lately I got a re-spark of my creative inspiration to design a lot more. That's why I'm doing a lot more live streams and going back into this. Starting to lose my voice, by the way. I had
Yeah,
a
we have
feeling it
been
was going.
speaking. You have been speaking for more than an hour. I think it's 1 hour 20 minutes already, or
No
something.
way.
1 hour 10 minutes. Yeah, and I think we are a little bit over our budgeted time, and we obviously respect people's time. So feel free to. It's who some people have dropped because they have their day job or whatever they need to do. This obviously this webinar will be recorded in YouTube. So Jeffrey, just a quick question: how much longer do we have? And can we
Uh,
wrap up quickly?
Give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes and I'll wrap this up real quick. If
Okay.
that's cool with everyone. All right. Yeah, we're just about done right here. So here are just some more ideas for opportunities, plugins, themes, training packages for clients, even like building reusable funnels. We get clients, we create emails for them that are WooCommerce. Just anytime you see a way, you're doing the work already, look for those opportunities that come up. Where to start and how to build. The first step is to put your business hat on. Here's the thing. We are either an employee or we're a business owner. And if any of us aren't collecting a check every single week from an employer, then we're a business owner and we need to shift that. We need to make some changes. So most of the time we're stuck in fulfillment. That's the problem with the whole feast and famine. When we get busy, we're only stuck working on projects for clients and trying to fulfill projects. We need to balance this out with our own personal business management. A good way to start is to either give yourself an hour a day of dedicated time where you could just focus and work on your own business, or a whole day out of the week. I would start with the hour a day because that at least will keep you focused on your business. And when you give yourself this hour, that means no emails, no working on websites. This is like getting out a whiteboard, setting up your stuff in Notion, doing whatever it is you have to do for your own business. You're going to choose, maybe I want to build this right here. I want to build my WordPress maintenance plans, or I want to build a WAS business, where you're going to give yourself that time. And then another thing that's really important about this is give it to your peak performance time. All of us have a peak performance time throughout the day. Mine is early in the morning. That should be the time we give to our own business. Don't wait till the end of the day when you're all burnt out. Now, a couple things to do. First one, podcast. Uh, for a very long time now, I start off my day every day listening to podcasts about business development in the creative industry and business, or just
Any
in
few you
personal.
can recommend, Jeff? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So let me see. I listen to I'm always rotating. Right now, I'm currently listening to Dan Coe. I just picked up one of his courses too. Like, I've been learning a lot from him. The Future, I'm a student of Chris Do. In fact, that's where my journey started, was in his community. That's when I started going down this route. I like Bedros Keuilian, Gary V. Yeah, those are just a few. And then, Pat Flynn, and I'm always rotating between them.
That's nice. Thank you.
Next one is to read books, and I do got one book coming up that I want to suggest and challenge everybody to read, because this is a really big eye-opening book for us web designers. Another thing is to join a coaching community. Like, being in communities on Facebook is great, but being in an actual highly focused coaching community where you're invested in it, this is where things really start to change, because this is when you start to put yourself with only people who are invested in learning and growing, like people who are serious enough about wanting to move to the next step, that they're willing to invest in it. Now, when I was in my third year, just going into year number 3, I almost lost it all in my agency. It was the hardest time. I made the worst mistakes. I did not know what I was doing, and it was almost it. Like, it was almost a wrap. And I had to take a step back, and that's when I discovered Chris Do, and I joined his community. Now, at the time, I was broke. I wasn't getting any clients in. I was in complete famine mode. I was burnt out, and I still paid $150 every month to be in this for a couple of years. And what happened was, it pushed me, it kept me focused, and it kept me surrounded with people who were like me, who wanted more, people at different levels. I was learning from people at all different levels. Now, there are several communities out there. We have one for Lytbox. It's the reason why I started the Lytbox Pro community. That way, there is a place for other creatives, but there are several. Like, as much as I would love everybody to come join us at Lytbox, and something that I am talking about a bit more, what's more important is that when you are ready, join something, and you're going to get something out of it. And then the next one is getting a business coach or mentor. Now, this comes later. Don't jump into this if you're brand new. Wait until you've been doing this for a while and you feel those pain points. Because when you get to that point, you're going to understand your business more, and your coach or mentor is going to help you through it.
Quick question from, I guess, Deirdre. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. What is the book you were talking about? Is that the book?
That's it right here. So the book
Okay.
is called Built to Sell. Got to read this, everybody. Got to read it. This book right here, within the first couple of pages, you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, this is it right here. Because it's about a struggling agency owner going through the things that we go through. Clients holding checks for ransom, the stress, the pain that we go through as an agency owner. And, he's getting ready to lose it all. He gets a mentor, and the mentor guides him through the process of productizing his agency and starting to rebuild his agency in a way that could be sold. And think about that for your own freelance business or your own agency. How can you structure it in a way that somebody could say, hey, I would like to buy this, and they could purchase it and they could keep it running? Now, if somebody's going to buy a business, they got to make sure that business is set up. You got the processes, the systems, things are predictable on the income, on the so like it has to be dialed in that way. So this book right here for me was a huge eye opener, getting to look at the business differently. And then this video right here, this is by Greg Hickman. He was a guest on Chris Doe's video, but this is all Greg Hickman in this video. You guys got to watch it. This is packed with crazy, crazy value. And it's all about looking at how we could productize our creative services. How could we take them from being custom, one-off things into systematize them and productize them? These two right here are going to really open up your mind and give a whole different perspective, and is really, really helpful to move forward, especially when you start to build those revenue streams. Now, just a couple things. We're coming to the end. I'm just going to leave with this right here. A couple exercises that I like to do with others, and ones that were done with me when I got business coaches as well. I invested inside of this, inside of my own growth, and these were things that were done with me. A SWOT analysis is really helpful to gain some insights for yourself. So when you take that hour a day, you guys could screenshot this and use it. But when you give yourself that hour a day, this is a great place to start. Look at your strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats. You got to have that self-awareness, because we all have different circumstances. We all have different advantages, different shortcomings. And then the next one, and in this one, I'm going to show you how this works as well. This I found really useful. This is a high-low impact chart. You guys might have seen it before, like used in different ways, but this is how I would use it. I gotta edit this to show you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to list all the different revenue streams that you come up with possibilities. You want to list them, because you can only start with one. You don't want to try to build 2, 3, or 4 at the same time. You'll fail at them. You'll be overwhelmed. You start with one and choose the one that is going to give you the highest impact, which is the most money, and is going to be the easiest for you to set up and to keep running. Now, up here, this is the highest, this is the easiest, and down here, this is, where you're going to place things that aren't going to make you much, like the email packages. Those, they brought in a few $100s a month, a couple hundred a month, but that's really not that much. It was really easy to set up, like super easy. So I'm going to place that right around over here. And then you're going to place this where, if something is hard, let's say SEO plans. All right, SEO, it's not easy. Now, if you do want an easy way, again, shameless plug, I got to do it. All right. I do have the ultimate. I know. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketer. I'm a web designer, but I've also learned through this
people can
journey.
go and check it out, right? And and obviously, if they like it, they can. And I think somebody said in the comments that they really dig it. So good job on that.
Yeah, it's good. Like I'm not just trying to like toot my own horn on this one, but this the ultimate SEO for WordPress is solid. It has all the templates, everything needed inside of it for offering SEO services. But it does have a steep learning curve. SEO is not that easy to do. It takes a little bit of time, but if you get the right
You know
systems,
what, Jeffrey, you need to build one course on how to sell WAS, or a WAS course. That would be amazing.
I got to first do it. So that's the reason why I got it, and I want to do that for myself. And after I do it for myself, it's going to take some trial and error. I'd be happy to share how I do it.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So up here, the SEO is hard, but it has a high impact. You can make crazy amounts of money off of SEO. So I'm going to put that over here in the heart. WordPress maintenance plans. Now, this is a good impact. This also has not as high as SEO, but it's also not as difficult. So I'm going to put it over here. But we're all different. We got the WAS as well. This is also really high impact. So the way you're going to do this is list it out and put these to where they fit for you. We're all different. Where mine land on this chart is going to be different from yours.
I think
And then
that's
when
very
you
important. Not everybody is a designer, not everybody is a developer. Everybody has their own strength, right? So that's important.
absolutely. Yeah, and that's why we need this right here. Why starting off with this really
That's the
helps out
SWOT
to
analysis.
understand it.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead and run this exercise. And whatever you get that's up over in this area, that's what you want to start with. You want to start with the easiest one that's going to give you the highest impact. And if it looks too easy, hey, it's okay. It's all right. Not everything has to be crazy hard. Now, find your business opportunity, build on that first, and then keep exploring. Don't stop. You want to keep revising, make mistakes, be okay to make mistakes, but quickly pivot. I'm constantly taking small steps back and big steps forward, small steps back and big. Keep going. Like all my stuff that I do, my SEO plans, my WordPress maintenance plans, all of it. I've had to keep revising and keep updating. That way, it could automate it more, could you know remove things are becoming headaches. Do it in a way where we're actually earning more. And yeah, a big warning, this could be very, very addictive. Once you start saying no to clients, it gets addictive. Oh, excuse me, it gets addictive. All right, once you start adding things and you start taking this time to focus on your business, it gets addictive because you're going to want to do more of it. And that's good. It's a good addiction. So that's it. All right. Let me
So
stop the screen
we would
share.
love we would love to hear people say that I am now an MRR addict, right?
Yes. Oh
Uh,
my God. I am.
yeah,
And
me
I don't
too.
want to recover from
Same
it.
here.
I'm going to stay.
No. No, means as they say, right? Money needs to work for you. So that's what MRR is all about. So I think,
Yeah.
and I hope people learned a lot during the webinar. A lot of people already asked a lot of questions. So if you have more questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Few asked for a link to your courses, and I have provided them the lightboxacademy.com URL where they can check out some of the courses and the community which you have. And if you guys are interested, we have a Facebook and Discord community. So join as many communities as you can, and then learn and see which one is the best fit for you. And obviously, and somebody said that buying the SEO course, Jeff. So um, and
Cool.
somebody is now going to be an SEO addict. So hopefully, very very soon, right? So
The best thing about it is we do have our community space and circle, and we do have a student community. So yeah, I look forward to connecting with you in our circle community. And if
and
anybody
if
wants
somebody
to look,
buys a course, do they automatically join your community, or there is like an additional step?
so there is the student community for all students, and then there's the pro
Okay,
community, and the
so
pro
those are like
community
two
is different.
areas.
But it's
Got
only
it.
$20 a month for the pro community. Like I
And I
kept it
think you will
really
get tremendous
affordable.
value from that. Yeah. So $20 is nothing of the value you get from the community. I guess people go and check out Jeff's Lightbox Academy. His courses and community are really really cool. We at InstaWP learn from it a lot, and obviously from his YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe to everything and learn and become an addict. I think that's the motto for today, right? So that's our motto. So,
Become an
uh,
obsessed addict. Yeah, that's it.
all right, Jeff, this is cool. And one quick announcement before we wrap up the call: we are launching a competition. It's an online hackathon. It's called Anyone Can WordPress. So there will be a huge PR going out on that soon. We have very nice jury member who will decide who has won. Basically, the idea is that people will build websites in a span of 15 days, and then they will submit it, and there will be upvotes from community, and then there will be demo day like what you have in YC. So, and there are prizes to be won over $10,000. So go ahead and check it out. If you are a freelancer in agency, participate in it, and you can win these prizes. And obviously, this is like an amazing place to learn. The website is not yet complete, but I'm going to paste a link to it anyway. And Jeff, I'm happy to collaborate on that in future. Well, we haven't talked about that much. Maybe it's a news to you too at this point, but happy to collaborate there too. But yeah, let's check it out. Jeff, anything you want to say before we close?
I just want to thank you for having me on this evening, and creating these videos and creating this space to help others out. And also everybody watching this, thank you all for being here. I see in the Lytbox chat everybody there. Thank you, Imran, for holding it down. I see you really active in there. This is awesome. It's I'm really grateful to be here, so thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks, Imran, and everybody else who has joined the webinar and you're spending your precious time. Hope you learned something from this webinar, and see you soon in another one. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jeff, for being on the pod.
Thank you.